Gosh, Nikki, I just want to share with you that I've been doing so great with my food and my eating plan and everything, and I have just been really kicking ass.
Good job, girl. How are you doing it?
I'm doing it through lots of different ways, and we're going to give you some examples too about how Nikki and I have both been having successful roads lately. Welcome to another episode of Dr. Cammy Goes Keto. I'm here with Nikki from Sugar Addiction Group, and we are talking about success and what's been working for us. So, one of the things that's been working for me that I think has really been helpful is for me for now, because I'm early in my sobriety. I'm early in my food abstinence, like whatever, I'm 66 days or whatever without sugar, flour, and caffeine. And before that, I went 52 days. And before that, I went 92 days. So it's coming closer and closer that these days are, successful. There's more successful days than unsuccessful days. And I haven't had a binge in 62 days. So getting that out of my system, which normally would happen for over a year, was happening every 2 to 3 weeks. God, just treating myself so badly, just wreaking all kinds of metabolic havoc on my body. And then emotionally, and breaking my heart and my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But now, there's things that I'm doing that are in my early program that have been helping me, and one of them is a food plan. I write down what I'm gonna eat either the night before or the morning of, and I write my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I put on there foods that do not have sugar or flour or any beverages or anything with caffeine in it, and I put on there foods that I like to eat, that I'm looking forward to eating in my meal. Some of them are borderline foods like nuts. I can eat nuts okay if I weigh them out and I eat 1 ounce of mixed nuts. That seems to work okay for me. So that's one of the things that I've been doing that's been really helping me be successful. What about you, Nikki? What have you been doing? What's been helping you?
Yes. Well, a few weeks ago when we were sort of talking about getting back on track, I was like, I had to really sit with myself and say like, well, what is it? What is it that is missing that is not making this sustainable or that makes you feel like you have to go off? And I just felt like the word fun popped up. And this you have to be careful with this because for a food addict, a lot of our past was food was entertainment, it was fun, it was celebration, it was like the reason to go to the party. So I don't want to say that I want my food to be fun in the same way that it was before, but we don't have to go sugar, flour, and caffeine free and not have fun with our food. So I was
Amen.
like, yeah. So I'm like, this way of eating is fun too. It's just fun in a more peaceful way and a more nourishing way because I'm fueling my body with real whole foods, making sure I'm getting enough protein and fat and keeping the carbs low and having fun because that makes me feel good. It keeps my weight down and it moves me in the direction of my goals. So, with that, I was like, okay, so what is going to make things more fun? What is more fun than your old coffee that you missed? And I really had to think about it. And so I tried bone broth and that was okay, but it didn't kind of like, get me excited or anything. And then I tried unsweetened coconut milk. Now I look forward to my coconut milk on ice and I put it in a little glass like this and it has no sugar in it if you get the unsweetened kind. It's very affordable. And the thing was when I was drinking coffee, the taste of black coffee was I didn't like it. But my old self that would put tons of sugar and cream in there, I was craving the creaminess and the like a smooth kind of mouthfeel. The coconut milk provides all that for me and it's dairy free, sugar free, like it hits all the boxes. So I've done a substitution that feels fun to me. I know some people out in the real world would be like, this girl's crazy, like unsweetened coconut milk. But for me, on my sober food plan, that's really fun. And I found like a 1-to-1 swap that feels good for me and works for me. And some girls do herbal tea and some just do ice water with salt in it or maybe a little bit of lemon. Everyone has their thing, but that thing worked for me. And now that I'm on month 2 without caffeine, it just like it feels good that I'm having fun with my food plan and it's working for me. So, and there's tons of other swaps like that too. Like we went to a burger place that's a popular chain and I order my burger in a way that's good for me now, like without the bun, like we know. and you got to be careful with sauces and things like that. And it's fun because I get more protein on my burger. I take off all the bull crap and I love it, you know? And then my boys are happy with theirs and I'm happy with mine. So I think it's just reframing and having a mindset of what you need and what is going to keep you going and what is sustainable for you. So for me it was reframing and making this more fun.
Right. What a great idea. What a great way to go about eating your food. And I relate to that and I really think that that's great. And people will be like, "God, really? Unsweetened coconut water is fun?" But you know what? It can be. It's all, you're shifting your perspective, right? I think
Exactly.
that's really, really important. Like one of the things that I like to eat in the morning, I usually eat 2 hard-boiled eggs with bacon and put a little bit of salsa on them, squirt some MCT oil on it. Sometimes I have avocado and sometimes I don't. But sometimes I get sick of the hard-boiled eggs. So then the other day I got regular eggs and I'm like, oh, I'm going to make cheesy scrambled eggs and puts a little bit of onion in there, a little bit, maybe a little bit of bell pepper. I mean, that does have carbs in it, right? It's got onion and bell pepper and cheese, but it's not a donut.
Exactly, and it's
So
still very low in carbs, so glucose is still
right,
gonna stay steady. Yeah.
right. And so I just bought the eggs yesterday, so I'm looking forward to having cheesy eggs tomorrow morning. And it's like the little things in life that you just have to get good at looking forward to those little different changes and things, instead of all of the bad stuff that it's gonna be doing for you, and, if you don't eat that stuff, and that's the other thing too that I think is really important is that what we're doing is healthy for us. It's good for us, and yes, we have to kind of play tricks and figure out how to make it fun for us, but in the long run, when we go and get on the scale, like Nikki and I have been doing really well, and that's what this video is about, and so we're hoping that, in a couple of weeks or whenever it is that we're gonna be doing our measurement video that, we see the difference. 2
Yep.
weeks? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that we see the difference there. So I'm looking forward to that too. So, doing the deal and staying the the way helps create fun things in our lives, not only with what we get to eat, but also with the results that we get to see.
Exactly, yeah. And when you do start getting results, you realize it's way more fun to, be different, eat a little bit differently, and stay on your plan than it is to be locked in that prison that you were in before, right? Because yeah, there was a lot more variety and I could enjoy like a lot of things at the grocery store, but man, I felt like crap. And then I didn't really want to have fun in life. I needed naps and, all these kind of things. So it's more fun living this way, you know,
Yeah.
than it is the old way.
Yeah. So I wanted to share something else that happened yesterday that I really feel good about because I was being very successful in this moment. And it was when I went to a celebration of life event for my girlfriend's dad. We had a
Mhm.
graveside service. And then afterwards, she was like, well, why don't you come over and eat with us? We're going to have food and we got all this Mexican food and we're going to come and be with us. And I felt bad because I had missed the chapel service. I had only been at the graveside quick service. And I looked at my calendar and I had the time to go. So I was like, okay, I'll go over there. So on the drive over, I was thinking, what am I going to eat? Because it was a little bit before dinner time, but I wanted to partake, I wanted to be part of, and I wanted to be social, and when I got over there, everybody was eating, and it was Mexican food, so I could do that. So I ate some of the meat, and put some onions and cilantro on it, and I ate some of the bell peppers and onions, and I didn't eat the tortillas or the rice or the beans or the chips, and then I had a couple of little bites of fruit, like 1.5 strawberries and a little piece of pineapple, and then, so I was pretty happy with that, and I was socializing, and everybody was eating all their carbs, and everybody was overweight, eating their carbs and talking about how they're overweight. I'm like, okay." But, then they brought these things over for dessert that were like works of art. Somebody came in, and as soon as I saw the box, the little, like, box, like a cake box, I knew what was gonna be in there were things that were not my food, and then they started putting them out, and they were like little individual servings that were quite big. And they put out like 12 or 15 of these things. And I just thought, oh my gosh. And I asked myself, I said, do I need to leave? Like, because, do I need to leave this event? And I decided that I did not need to leave, but I had given myself freedom to leave if I really felt like I needed to. Like, if I'm like, I'm not going to be able to say no to that. I need to get out of here. I was going to give myself permission to do that, but I didn't have to. So I stayed and I watched everybody eat their food and I just kind of paid attention to, like, the thinner people would take 1 or 2 bites and be done with it. And the heavier people would like eat the whole thing. And, it was just kind of interesting watching and paying attention to that. But I just felt really good that I didn't have to partake and my mouth didn't water like it used to and my stomach didn't growl like it used to. Things would happen before, like physically when I would see those things. And so I got to look at myself and say, hey, look at this progress that I'm having, right? Like I'm not salivating when I see those foods. So that was really good. It was an exercise in, like, l- learning how to take good care of myself, knowing that I could leave if I had to, not needing to, and just enjoying more of the experience. And then, like, my friend got up and shared about her dad, and then some other people were sharing like funny stories about him and stuff, and about her dad. And it was really fun to be there.
Yeah. But yeah, a celebration of life or a funeral is a very emotional thing because it can, you know, bring up all of our people that we've lost and loved ones that were maybe missing. So even if you're not necessarily, if you didn't know the individual like you were just supporting your friend, it could trigger a lot of emotions and deep things inside of us. And, all of them have the food afterwards. So that's a huge trigger. But kept your mind in it and you made sure that you could put together a meal that's compliant for you. And then you were able to look over and just be like, oh, that's pretty poison. I'm not having that. And I don't need to leave. So that's a huge, huge win, Cammy. Good girl.
Yay.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I hope you wrote that a big W on your calendar and circled it. Win.
Yeah, I did. I did. It's interesting that you're bringing it up that it was a win because it really was a big win. And when I got home that night and I looked at my food plan, I had not eaten my food plan for the whole day. I had been off kilter because in the morning I wasn't hungry to eat my eggs and bacon and I was making some chicken salad that I was going to have to eat at lunch. So I did eat my lunch proper, which was chicken salad and dill pickles.
Mm-hmm. Yummy.
But in the morning when I was making the chicken salad, I wasn't really hungry, so I just ate a few bites of it as I was putting in some, seasoning and some things like that to make sure that I liked how it was tasting.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, that's just good enough for breakfast. So I had a few more bites of cucumber, but um it wasn't what was on my plan. So then I was kind of beating myself up at the end of the night because I was like looking at my plan and I'm like, God, you totally didn't eat your food plan today except for lunch.
Yeah.
And then I ate 4 times that day because I ate but anyway, so I was, and I'm such a perfectionist and it's, I still see like these character defects of me, beating myself up because I ate 4 times that day, even though in the morning it was like a few bites and a few bites of cucumbers. It wasn't even, and I wasn't sitting down and eating my meals properly. I guess I did for lunch and I did at the event. But, see, even now, I don't give myself credit, So this is like live me learning live that, I need to give myself credit where credit is due and, go easy on myself. And, I'm still abstinent. I'm still no sugar, no flour, and no caffeine and no binge. And those are really my top 4 things at the end of the day that I want to be sure that I did. And I did all those things. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And those are your main goals. That's your main focus right now. And like we were talking about, we can add other things in later when this feels so autopilot and so part of our past that we're past it and then we want a new challenge. But for now, this is good and you're kicking ass and we're kicking ass.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yes. Guys, this is a woman who has delivered umpteen babies and taken care of so many women and sustained us and helped us throughout their lives. And now she's learning how to take care of herself. So this is big stuff.
And thank you so much, Nikki. And this is how you do it too. Yeah, I'm on a big kick this summer to be sure that Dr. Cammy is well cared for.
Yes,
That
definitely. And I'm so happy that you're doing that. I heard you tell Mike that, like, I'm taking the summer off, and I was like, "Thank you, Jesus," because I don't think you've ever taken time off. You've been like the little foot soldier for your mom since you were like, what, 6 or 8 or whatever, and then it was just on with life. You were always the responsible one, always the golden child, always the one that people could count on and lean on, and let me call Cammy so she can fix me up. And that's all good because you're still going to be a coach and a good friend and a helper and a sister and everything that we love about you. I need you to be strong and take care of you too. Like, you're my girl, you're my friend, and I want you to, have a really good strong sense of self and self-love. And yeah,
Thank you so much,
just
Nikki.
so proud of you.
I appreciate that. I so appreciate that. And you brought up the word Jesus, and that reminds me, another thing that I'm doing that's changing up my life is getting more spiritual. And, whatever that means to you, I think that's an important part of you to check out as you're trying to work on, doing a ketogenic lifestyle or going no sugar, no flour, no caffeine, whatever it is that you're up to as you're listening to this channel. Because having God on my side has really increased my army.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, having a higher power definitely puts some nitric oxide in the supercar.
Yes, totally. And, like I'm not, one of the things is that really helps me with that is that I don't feel like I'm alone.
Yes.
I have somebody with me. And, yeah, I have all of my friends and I have all of my, support systems in place and, that I've really worked hard to get there. But I think like, I always say that the litmus test is when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and it's dark and you're laying in bed by yourself and or next to your partner, but you're alone and they're sleeping and you're like, what is my life really like? I think that's really important to look at that. And when your life is so much fuller because you have your higher power involved with you and your successes and wanting to help you, strive and, do the best you can and help you out and is always there. And that's the other thing about my HP is that he is always there. And so
Right.
I do a lot what I call the God experiment. My girlfriend, my good friend Erica taught me about the God experiment. And she said, well, you just ask God, you just put it in God's hands and you see what happened. You put it completely in God's hands and see what happens. And that is just crazy stuff that I've been doing. Like, and sometimes it's just little things. Like I couldn't get my jar of pickles open the other day. And I'm like, okay, God, help me open this jar of pickles. And I took a deep breath and I just turned it a little more gently, but I just changed a little bit and it opened, and you're like, okay, well, that's just chance. That's just, you know, a coincidence, right? What they talk about. But then like when it happens 4 times in one day, I was doing like, I couldn't find something and I'm like, okay, God, you need to help me find this. And I walked around the corner and there it was. And like it happens 4 times in one day. I'm like, really? Like, how many coincidences are you going to have before you realize that, it's the way that you are. It's your relationship with God and your higher power. And it's the energy that that you're infusing into the universe and how it's coming back to you.
Yes. Yeah. And for me in my spiritual practice, I feel like she, whatever you want to call our higher power, was the one that created us. And then we came here on earth to live our human life. And then when we die someday, we're going to be reunited with them. So it really is like an arc, there with them, like in every sense of the word, here on earth and then back with them. So we're just here on earth to learn our little earthly human lessons and do the best we can. And even though we're a little bit more separate, we're still together, you know?
Yes.
And if, like you said, it doesn't feel like we're doing this alone because we're not. And we have somebody that's, sort of the wind beneath our wings that's like helping us, empowering us forward. And I don't know. I mean, I sure like living this way better than without it.
Amen, sister. Amen. And that's what we're going to say. So, yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to us talk about how we're kicking ass and how we are really looking forward. We got 2 more weeks to show on our measurement tape. we'll talk to you then and we'll see how things are looking. And, for me, it's just one day at a time, right?
Definitely, one day at a time. And I do like having little mini targets or mini goals, things to look forward to. Like every month I look forward to us measuring whether it's, good or bad. And then next month I'm looking forward to our convention, our Low Carb USA convention. That's something fun that, I like to geek out on, and we could be coaches and learn all the newest information. And it's just, you need those little things in life, those little stepping stones, those little breadcrumbs that keep you going. So it's
Yeah,
fun. Keep kicking ass, but keep it fun, you guys.
absolutely. That's really important. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Nikki.
Thank you,
Take
Cammy.
care.
Keep rocking it, girl. Love you.
Bye.